Okay, we're recording.
Planting the cemetery box. How easily a person falls into certain attitudes. Here I stand, hands clasped, head bowed, looking at your gravestone as if I needed help reading the name on it. The name, both of us married in different generations. But kneeling is natural, though I was never a kneeler, have never had your closeness to that bearded old heathen slayer up in the blue May sky. When you talked about heaven, it sounded like a big family picnic. Potato salad and nectar and Swedish sourdough rye. Nobody having an argument, none of the kids crabby. All the folks you loved together, picnicking forever. I was never that sort of kneeler, but kneeling to plant is easy. I set down the flats. I break up the good dark soil I water. I lift and transplant 2 geraniums, 2 petunias, an impatiens, and 2 tufts of sweet alyssum, pouring more water around them, firming up the soil, and your old competent hands rise around mine, passing on wisdom, pressing the earth tight. Something pours into me, not down from above, but up from the thin, grassed dirt of Oakland Cemetery. It is good to be brought low, to be borne down, to feel this hot rush in body, face, and eyes, to kneel with our hands in dirt and the dear bones of our loved dead under us, pressing against our knees. You want me to read Old Man Stuckel now?
Yeah.
All right.
Dan, can you try not to make noise?
Yeah,
No, that's not in Hive Dancer. That's in.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. All right. Cranes. Yeah, it's the first one. Okay. Yeah. Yes, and if there are dull spots, I know there is such a thing as editing. So this is, wrote this poem a very long time ago when we first moved to this county.
And he's a neighbor, or was a neighbor?
He was a neighbor. Yes, what happened, he came down to see us one time because he heard there were people living there in the cabin over winter, and he wanted to check that out.
So that was when you first moved here?
Yeah.
64.
64.
Okay.
So the poem is called Old Man Stuckel Talks to the Hogs. Old beyond milking, his sap all gone to seed, he moves where he moved as a boy, bringing the cows home. On dry stick legs he stumps through the rank sweetness as he did 90 summers back, learning the barnyard mysteries. Here, on these acres his sons farm, in the long gloamings of his 96th summer, he leans on fencing that creaks like his bones, and talks to the hogs. Their lively pink noses snoof in the trough. He tells them how it is. Good harvests, bad harvests, blizzards, droughts, corn-growing weather, marriages, wars, a swamp drained, a field gone back to birches and box elder. The old men in the courthouse, bearded like God, are slick-faced boys now, and grandsons of girls he danced with stand him to beer at the Legion Club when he hitchhikes into town. All changed, by God. Leaning on work-worn arms, he tells them, by God, there were women then, not skinny girls, real women, farm women, tossing their heads like good mares, real dancing too, polka, schottisch, moonlight, and the smell of sweet corn. Yards of lace, but meat on their bones, by God. Stroke took his daughter-in-law during the July drought. She lay 9 days, plump hands that knew the warmth under a hen's breast empty by her solid thighs. The German tongue and the laughter all finished. Dying corn whispered in the dusty fields like old newspapers. The day of the funeral, it poured. Mourners scurried from car to church. They brought in gusts of cool air. Scrolled incense, thick as cow's breath in a frosty barn, shook with the rain-sweet air. Knocking drops from their hats with scrubbed hands, they muttered, "I hope it don't stop for a week." After an hour of Latin, they took her to the graveyard to lie under the marble gaze of Jesus eternally dying, to soften with the rustle of green corn. After chores and supper, the old man told the Hogs,